guys, welcome back to my channel. And I went to Dreamcon 25, as you know. So let's talk about it. So Dreamcon was a fun time for me. I'm going to talk about all the ins and outs, right? So I'm going to talk about, things to work on, things I didn't like, but I also want to talk about the goodness that I had. And I just want to talk about my whole experience because this is my first ever, well, it's not my first ever convention, right? I went to my local convention last year, I think. So I went to that and I got to see a YouTuber who turned into a voice actor. That's probably was my highlight of my local convention, is that I'm forgetting his name. His name is displacing me. But there was a YouTuber who went into voice acting. And so I went to go see his panel, and that was really fun. And then I walked around, I bought a few things, and I dressed up as, I did cosplay for that. I dressed up as Maki from JJK. So Jujutsu Kaisen, for the people who don't know. But yeah, JJK. And so that was a good, well done time. Now I was supposed to dress up. So let's go before I even left for DreamCon, right? I was supposed to cosplay for DreamCon, but I have been having a hard time adjusting being back to school. And that's really hard for me, right? Because back in the day, when I was going through school, it was really hard for me to focus on other parts of my life. So again, that's always been a struggle of mine. So I'm later in life getting to do a lot of the things I wanted to do personally, and one of those things is traveling. So over time, you'll see me take some more time to travel more and do all those things, yada 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 yada. So back to DreamCon. Right before we left for DreamCon, I was supposed to be cosplaying, and I put a warning in the community tab that if you don't see me cosplaying, charge it to the game, because I'm still trying to figure out, timing for myself to not be overall tired but still get to do the things that I love. And one of those things is content. I have not been doing content well at all this year with my posting. I was really, really regular when I first started the first year. But again, when you add school, and I have a job as a therapist and I also teach. So that's a lot, right? And trying to do content on top of that, I really need to learn how to pace myself. But what the good part is that I feel rejuvenated enough to get back into content where I'm not feeling excessively tired of the time. I really think I needed this break. So I'm very excited for that. So I didn't cosplay, but what I do have is I do have my cosplay stuff, and I'm rewatching Fire Force. So I'll probably finish out the cosplays and wear them for the episode for, when these characters get introduced, something like that. Or like just the episodes where I come in my cosplay and like, hey, see, this is what I was supposed to look at DreamCon. So we had that. Then we can go ahead and talk about it. The Meg Thee Stallion dilemma, right? Because Meg was coming, and then from my understanding, one of the workers liked some posts about Tori, and it was a debacle, and it was a fear that Meg was not coming. So that was happening beforehand. Mark addressed it, talked about it, said he was not firing the person who did it, that it was an accident. And I think it's believable that it's an accident because I do it all the time. I accidentally like things I'm not trying to all the time. So that's the only way I can really give grace within that, because I know that I do it. But again, we're going to get into that later on, of like when we're talking about issues that needs to be addressed and all those things. But so that happened at the beginning. And for me, what I did was, because a lot of my friends around me are not nerds, not anime nerds, gaming, all that stuff. So a lot of my anime, gaming nerds are my online friends, people I've met online through gaming, through talking about different shows, like different groups. So what I did was that I had joined a group, and I met up with some people that I had already met online. So if you're a person who's like, I'm an adult, I don't have any friends who share this interest, I encourage you to join Facebook groups, Discord groups, all those things. You'll find your people. Not everybody's going to be your people, right? But you have to put yourself out there to find the connections that you can make with people. Now, there won't be any videos or pictures of the people that I met with because I didn't get consent to post them. So I'm not going to post them, without their consent, right? but I met up with some people. We had a great time. And so after that, let me go through my time. This was my first time on a plane. I know, right? And the way that it was told to me of the experience of the plane, because the person, my mom had to, she gets motion sickness on the plane. So I thought it was going to be me because I get motion sickness in cars. So if I'm not the person that's driving, I think when I'm driving, it helps a lot bit more because it's like, I don't know if it's because I have control of it or stuff like that. It keeps me focused. When I'm in the driver's seat and I'm in a car for too long, I get motion sickness. So I was like, dang, I'm gonna get on this plane and I'm gonna have motion sickness, all these things. But I went through the airport. It was perfectly fine. I did everything through my phone. So I checked in with my did my phone check bag on the kiosk, put the thing on there, went through the pre-check, all those things. And I got on the plane. Well, and then I had to wait. You have to have like this little waiting period, right? And then I saw that my alma mater, where I got my bachelor's degree, was they had a little sign for it in it. So I went to UCA. I went to University of Central Arkansas for my bachelor's degree. So I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. I did not get no picture on the plane because I thought, oh, if I look down, I'm probably gonna get sick or something like that. No, I didn't. I probably could have gotten a video. I should have. But my experience on a plane was a good time. I loved it. I love being on the plane, and I will do it again and again and again because I really don't like to drive. I don't like to be on long drives, and it felt like no time has passed just flying into Houston, right? And this is some of this knowledge, if you're going to Dreamcon 2026, will be helpful because they're going to have Dreamcon 2026 in Houston. I plan on going, so I hope to be able to meet you. Very friendly. Just stop me at any time. I think sometimes I do have like a resting face, but that's probably because I'm just focused on something. But as soon as you start talking to me, all smiles, all the things. So once I got there is a shuttle that you could take for like $3 to the hotel, to Marriott. That's if you're going to the Marriott. Me personally, I chose to do one of the hotels connected to the convention center because it was just going to save me time and effort. And I like, when I'm traveling to do something, I want the easiest, softest life possible because it's a vacation. I need the easiest, softest life possible. So I did the connected one because I could just go to the convention center, and when I'm feeling tired or I'm over it or I'm just like, you know what, but I go chill in my room, I could just literally just walk to my room and it just be that. I don't have to get the Ubers to drive me back and forth, do all the things. I like to have that easy access to my room. So that's why I chose the Marriott, and I understand some people prefer price over convenience. I prefer convenience. So when I'm going on a trip, I try not to even think about money. I try not to even think about money. I just like to swipe my card is my type of deal. And that's just how I like to vacation. And that's very important for you to figure out, especially if you're going by yourself, is figuring out how you like to vacation so that you can pair yourself up with the type of people who likes to do that, right? Because when you start to pair up with different things, then it starts to get iffy, which this made me realize how much I like solo trips because I have the free will to just move around and it not be a big thing. And I say that coming up off of watching a video of someone trash like a friend of theirs who went with them because they kept wanting to do everything with them and they wanted to go do some stuff alone, and instead of just communicating that, they chose to get on the internet and tell us how they ruined their experience because they didn't communicate with them. So they want a separate time, and that's me as a therapist going back to communication. And so I just like the free will to just walk around and just be my thing. And I didn't know if I was gonna like that because I used to have really bad social anxiety. But I've been doing really well with that, and I was pretty calm this whole trip, which I'm very proud of myself on that, right? Understanding that your therapists are human too, and they have their own issues and stuff. And so one of my things was social anxiety. I'm also the type of person who likes to enjoy the moment. So I do have clips, but I don't have clips of everything that I did every moment, which is one of the things that people are talking about. And I get to that later about the streamers and stuff being at the con. But me personally, I like to be in the moment. That's kind of how I grew up. I grew up right when the internet was getting a little getting popular, but I was still in the era of the kids go outside, they play outside, your minutes ain't free until after 9. And it takes effort to get on the internet. Like we used to walk to the library just to get on Facebook, stuff like that. So it wasn't readily accessible like it is now. The shuttle takes you straight to the Marriott for like $3, which I loved. And so then I got there, I checked in. This was on Thursday, so I came in a day early. And I don't know, I kind of suggest it. I think it's always good to come in before the festivities start, especially when it comes down to what I've heard about the badge line and stuff. It really depended on what time you were going, how bad the badge line was. From my experience, from me talking to my friends, it really depends on what time. Because when I went into the badge line on Thursday, at the early time, the line was long, but the line moved fast. They were very efficient. And so, and then some other people have that experience. But then when you get into like Friday and Saturday trying to get in line to get a badge, depending on the time, some people was out there for like an hour or two because the line was so long, because people were having like only Saturday badges and stuff like that. So that's one of the critiques that people are talking about. They really want the badge to be have the ability to be mailed out. I think it's perfectly fine. Just mail the badges out. One of the other things I did was I ordered room service. And so I ordered room service just to see how the Marriott's doing with room service. The portion sizes were great. The portion sizes were great for the room service. And I was also still working while I was there. So I would go out, do my festivities, then I would come back to my room and I would be working. This pasta dish that was really good. I didn't like the Ken's creamy Caesar dressing. I didn't like that. I don't know why, but I just didn't like that. It was too tart for some reason to me. But you know, the cookies and all that jazz was good, but they had me messed up. Now I know I talked about how I like leisure, and I'm not gonna talk about prices. I think this starry drink was like $3, $5 or something like that. And I was like, I could go get a bottle at the vending machine that's literally down the hallway for the same price that you giving me this canned starry drink. I thought that was crazy. I thought that was crazy. So I did that. I had their breakfast too. The pancakes had too much oil in it, and then my first time getting the hash browns, it was too much pepper, but the second time it was delicious. So that's kind of my experience of like, there was some hits, there was a little bit of misses when it comes to ordering from there. Now they did have restaurants at the bottom that I didn't get to try out. That may be something I do next time, is just to go downstairs and try out some of the restaurants that are in the hotel. That'd be fun. And they also had a pool situation. I didn't get to try out the pool in time because everybody was scattered everywhere, and I wanted to go to the pool with some people. But we were all doing our own thing and then meeting up here periodically. But I would like to go check out the pool one good time, because I'll probably, unless some people are like, hey, I want to go in on a Airbnb and we share the Ubers and stuff, I'll probably be right back in this hotel. I'll probably be right back in this hotel. So I got my badge on Thursday, and then it was time for Dreamcon on Friday. So Meg had her alcohol there. She had her tequilas. One was a citrus one and one was a vanilla one. I tried the vanilla. I'm not too big on citrus. So I tried the vanilla one. I personally liked it, but I also had mixed drinks. So I think one time I tried it without. But they had multiple different drink stations. So they had like regular drink stations on the first floor, and then like on the third floor, and then like also on the first floor they had like this whole setup where you can take a picture with her cutout. And I know that she also did like a signing on the 3rd floor. So she had some people meet with her, be able to do a little meet and greet at some point, which I didn't do none of the meet and greets, but I don't think they really advertised the meet and greets. So that's another thing. So the meet and greets was on the 3rd floor somewhere, somehow. And I'm the type of person that I really look into stuff, and I really deep dive and Google and stuff before I start asking questions. And I'm telling you right now, they really didn't advertise the meet and greets. But I don't think I really wasn't coming for the meet and greets. But I know for a fact that it was just like, you see them when you see me. Except for they did have Touchgrass TV. Theirs was like on the actual scheduling. So you download the Dreamcon app and it'll tell you all the different panels and stuff that's going on. And so I remember seeing theirs. So there was a long line for that. And that's probably the first thing I did. Well, I was walking around a little bit and I was waiting for other people to show up. But I hopped in one line for a drink. Love a good little drink. That's something you can know about me just a little bit. I drink socially, not all the time. So it's always once in a blue moon. But I tried out her drink. I liked it. And I got some mixed drinks. And then we also hopped in Meg's line. And I wish I had had the picture for that. And I could have just blurred out my friends' faces. But I did take a picture with her cut out and sat in that line. Now the music was bumping, right? So the music was bumping on the 1st floor. They had like a DJ in the middle, and that was nice. The music was good. And from what I hear from people are saying the DJ that was in the middle, right next to Meg's thing, should have been the DJ at the after party. Apparently the DJ at the after party wasn't too good. I don't know. I wasn't there. I did not buy tickets to the after party, the official after party. But that's what I heard. Like, so, but when you're looking at the layout, right? So this is very big, and when I hear it's very big compared to what they had last year, which was good. It was still a lot of people in the building, right? But on the 1st floor, you had where they were gonna have like main events, right? So that's where like Meg and stuff was at. Bay Brigade was at. But they also had a queue line, which I really liked that. I think they said that's the first time they had that, where they had a whole big room just for people to line up. And you know what's crazy? Even when the lines were short, because there's certain things that I showed up to kind of early, like Bay Brigade, people were still cutting the line. So I've been seeing all these things that people talked about in the past with line issues, and in the same breath, you see people cutting the line. I was like, is this a Dreamcon issue or is this a people issue? Is this a people issue? So people were cutting the lines, and I'm like, you cutting the line, and we're not even close to capacity. So why would you even? And so, yeah, and the volunteers didn't say anything, to be honest. I only seen badge pickup. Volunteers wasn't playing no games. But I do think it does get tiring after people constantly doesn't listen to you, that you probably would get tired and be like, okay. And so they had the queue line, and then in the 3rd room, they had the game center. So that's where you could play all the different types of games, and then that's where they were having the gaming competitions. And then in the 2nd floor was where the panels, like the smaller panels, was at, and it had all these different rooms. And I got lost a good 2 or 3 times trying to find certain panels, because they didn't really have any. They had some signs set up for the panels, but like there's certain rooms that have like 3 or 4 doors or whatever. It has A, B, C, D, and so it was kind of hard a little bit to find the rooms there. But I ended up finding some panels to go to. I'll probably go to more of those a lot, because what I find is that I really enjoy the smaller panels more than some of the main stage things, because the smaller panels are more interactive and you can join in and all that jazz, and it was quite fun in the smaller panels. So that was great. But there is a sound issue where, depending on what the other panel is doing, you can hear everything in the room in your panel. So imagine me being in the panel talking about, you know, an anime argument or something like that, anime hot takes, and then they're line dancing in the next room. Yeah. Yeah. And then it was and then on the third floor you had the food court. There needs to be better options. There needs to be better options for the food court. I don't think it was utilized to the best of its abilities at all. So that's what you're looking at when you talk about the layouts. And I can walk right over the bridgeway to come in on the second floor. So that's kind of what that looks like. And so I took a couple videos of some people in the cosplays that was really cool. And so then I went to trap karaoke. And so it was lit in there. So, okay. So you had the gaming room, and then you had another room where they were having like the DJ battle. It was basically where all the music was bumping, basically. So you had the DJ battle, you had trap karaoke, all the music stuff was happening in there. And so I spent a significant amount of time in there, and I realized, man, I'm obsessed with music. Because I was like, I went to a lot of different stuff that had to do with music. So I went to trap karaoke, and there were some people who didn't sing not a lick of a trap song. But then there were some people that had heavy. But you tell me, is Super Bass a trap song? I didn't think so. But, you know, shout out to her. So I got to hear a little bit of the DJ battle. And then I went to, and then it went right into trap karaoke. And they also had some cheerleaders. I was like, okay. They had some cheerleaders come out and do a little cheerleader thing for us. So that was nice. And they did have the main stage where they did, with RDC. RDC did their game show, all those things. I didn't go to none of that. And, things move fast when you're on vacation. So there's a lot of things I didn't get to see. But I was having a ball while doing it. And I also think that I probably wouldn't go to anything that I had to wait on. So some people be like, oh, they spent like 2 hours in the line waiting to get into this. I'm not doing that. Those 2 hours in line, I could spend doing multiple other different events that were going on at the same time. Like it'd be like 12 o'clock and there'll be like 6 panels going on at the same time. I can find somewhere to have a great time, but that's just me. So, if you feel like it's worth the wait to sit and wait for like a main stage thing for a long time, have at it. Which I was very grateful, because all the main stage things that I went to did not take me long to get into. It did not take me long at all. So that first night they had Meg Thee Stallion come, and I was in there. I was in there to see Meg.
Special and exclusive fireside chat right here at Dreamcon. Make some noise. I want to thank y'all so much for pulling up, for waiting in that line outside, and also give it up for yourselves, because this cosplay that scene, y'all did that. Y'all did that. Just talking about your businesses and everything that you continue to create, do you have a proudest achievement so far?
My proudest achievement is just staying strong through the adversity and not letting nobody knock you off.
And so I got to, you know, see that. She announced that she's coming out with an anime. And so we'll see what that looks like and what that's about. So she's coming out with a new anime, and then she's coming out with like 2 Popeyes locations. I was like, oh, okay, girl, do what you do. Tequila, Popeyes, anime. I see you. So she came out, she did that. Then she did like a cosplay contest, and respect to Chainsaw Man, because I guess not a lot of people have seen Chainsaw Man yet, but there was a girl dressed in a Chainsaw Man cosplay. Yeah, okay, so here we go with, she was dressed up in a Chainsaw Man cosplay, and nobody knew who she was, so she didn't get the recognition that she deserved. But I did cheer for Broly, right, because Broly won. But that was such a great cosplay, right? And that's what should have won. But nobody knew who she was. And I was like, give some respect to Chainsaw Man, which I watched all of Chainsaw Man. So the reaction is not coming to the channel. Maybe with a season 2, maybe. But I've literally already watched all Chainsaw Man. So I got to attend that. That was a great time. That was a great reveal about her having an anime. We did have to wait for Meg to come on stage, and I don't know if it's because she did the Sims things beforehand and she needed some time to re-up, but we did have to wait a little minute, and they kept playing music, and so we were just in there jamming the music, waiting for Meg to come out. Then I got back to my room and they had fireworks. I was like, I don't know what these fireworks are for, but okay. Majestic. I was hoping that my hotel was sitting next to, because they have a Texas shaped pool, but didn't get that. I didn't get that. Moving on to Saturday. So I had breakfast, I had a waffle, I had sausage and things, right? Because, you know, I'm in my hotel and I'm working. After I come back to my room, I'm doing work, and in the morning I'm doing work before I go back into the convention center. So I did that, and my goal that day was really to go to some panels. That was my goal for that day. Friday, I spent a lot of time with my group of friends. So we were together in trap karaoke and things like that until I broke off for a Meg. So I spent the good most chunk of my day doing that. Oh, I didn't get a video of it, but we also went to a close by restaurant, and I ordered like some honey chipotle tacos, and it was a lot honey. I didn't taste much of the chipotle, but I didn't get none of that because I was just hanging out with friends, getting to meet some more people, things like that. And so we got to do that on Friday. I just didn't get a video of that because we were just hanging out and stuff. And so, and that happened before I went to Meg Thee Stallion. I believe that happened on Friday. Yes. So then I went to Anime Jeopardy, and I hope they bring Anime Jeopardy back. And I didn't realize that one of the people from our group was one of the people who was actually leading Anime Jeopardy. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I went to Anime Jeopardy, and that was absolutely hilarious. So let's check out some of these clips.
Much longer than you think, since this test first began, actually.
Yes, you can. You can use your lifeline. Hold it up. Read a lifeline. You know.
I wish I would have got more clips of, like, they even went so far to make like some funny like memes and stuff of some of the things. And every time I was like, dang, I should have recorded that because that was funny. But the names and stuff, because we thought that the Anime Jeopardy, because it said Anime Jeopardy Melanin Edition, so we thought the Anime Jeopardy was only going to be for Black characters in anime, but it was not. It was just very much Black in the sense of the categories and stuff like that. And so there was one guy that he had negative something points and he kept shooting for 500 and we was like, please give it a rest. And then the women came in the second round and they were very much more knowledgeable, of course. And so just checking out some of the categories, right? So some of the categories like, do you know black anime hair? She said, try Jesus, not me. They not like us. And then we have, you thought I was feeling you? And drop them draws, Denzel. It was such a good time. That's probably was one of my favorite panels. Was Anime Jeopardy. If I knew that it was just general anime questions, I would have put in, because they did like a little randomizer, so anybody in the room had a chance to be a part of this, right? So that was a great time and I had a lot of fun with that. Okay, so then I went and walked around a little bit just to kind of check out everything. And so they had a little car showing in there, which I thought was really nice. It's so big. And so I went and looked around at some of the vendors. On Saturday, but then I got overwhelmed. And so for me, I get really overwhelmed in crowds when I'm feeling like I'm closed in and boxed in. And so on Saturday, there were a lot of people there on Saturday. So I didn't spend too much time in the vendor hall. I walked around a little bit, just kind of get my bearings. And then I went on to the next thing. I went on to the next thing because it was just a bit much for me. Personally, it's just one of the things I have with crowds. So, and I'm proud of myself because I literally didn't actually buy anything from vendors until Sunday. And that's pretty big for me because I love to buy some stuff. And usually that's the first thing I try to go do. But I actually really did wait until Sunday when it was not as many people. And then I bought some stuff from vendors. And I will talk about that towards the end. So these are just some clips right here. Me just walking around the vendor hall. What I would like going forward is for there to be some diversity when it comes to vendors. There was a lot of like overlap, right? It was overlap of people selling a lot of the same things, and there could be, you know, some other things that can like take space, right? Like there was a lady who had a really small little vendor, and I wish I would have got some stuff from her, but I'm kind of leaning out of press-on nails. Like I want to wear press-on nails, but it's a whole hassle. But she was selling anime press-on nails, and I was like, see, that's, you know, a big difference from having, you know, 10 tables selling comics, 10 tables selling relatively the same type of anime art, stuff like that. And I'm not saying like, if you're watching this and you're one of the vendors, that's not me saying anything about you. It's just that I wanted to see like diversity and difference, just in respect of like things that people can sell. So then I went to Baby Grade. Baby Grade is a fun time and I totally understand why people love it. So let's check out some clips.
we bring our host on stage, right? I need to get a vibe check. Let's see which side is litter. Right?
It's going down. Oh, it's going down. Yeah, so Bay Brigade, a super fun time. I really enjoyed myself. I'm gonna question some of your choices, like the karaoke choices, even though some of them songs are my songs. Like Misery Business is my song, but is Misery Business a karaoke song? The karaoke song of karaoke songs? I don't know about that one. And then I also got up close enough to dance and get a clip of Andante. Because I love some Andante. So that was great. All right, and so then after Bay Brigade, I went to open mic night. Now, I thought open mic night, again, I love me some music. Music is part of my soul. And so I'm thinking open mic night, people are going to be able to have like, hey, mic's open, who wants to come wait in line, show us what you got. I thought that's what open mic night was, but they pre-audition open mic night people. And I was like, right. And so this is one of the bigger events, not the full-on main stage event on the bottom, but it was one of the bigger events. And I was like, oh, so I was kind of disappointed in that, because that's the same thing with trap karaoke. They said at some point, I don't know when, they picked people out of the crowd, and that's how they did trap karaoke. And I was just like, oh, I love experiences where the mic is open and then people can go up there and just, show out. So I did want that, and so everything was like pre-chosen, and so I was like, oh, pre-chosen. So I think one of the things I'll probably do is go find a hole in the wall that's doing it. Would probably be more my jam. But I got some great clips of open mic night of various different people. And so my favorite was probably the longest of this guy at the end that was rapping. But I'm going to show you some clips of these different people on open mic night.
I'm not satisfied that I'm not satisfied that many of those who share my faith have made a mockery of it, the one on whom it is based, and his sacred teachings. I'm not satisfied that Malcolm X is not held at the same esteem as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not satisfied that many would rather believe and uphold a lie than stand for truth, no matter the consequence. I'm not satisfied with how many have died and continue to die at the hands of the system and powers that be. Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if the roles were reversed. If the hunter became the hunted, the slaver became the enslaved, and the conquerors became the conquered. Would it look like what we see today? Or would it look like something beyond our wildest dreams? Would it look like Wakanda, Zamunda, or Brandy's Cinderella? I don't know, and I never will. You see, I hate using fictional places that were built on principles and ideals that are real, valid, and valued to describe a seemingly distant future, to describe possibilities that have all the wherewithal they need to become realities, yet somehow still remain mere possibilities. And mere possibilities are all they will ever be. If we continue this vicious cycle of shunning the truth and embracing lies, blaming the victim and not the perpetrator, punishing the oppressed and not the oppressors, talking loud and saying nothing, shutting up and not speaking out, standing for nothing and falling for everything. Talk to me about the great strides we've made as a nation. That's real cute and all, but the fact remains I'm still not satisfied. And I won't be satisfied until the spirits of racism, white supremacy, misogyny, pride, entitlement, and hate are all captured, bound, pierced through with the stake, burned and eradicated from the face of this earth. Dare I say, by any means necessary. Poem.
Running in a crowd, in a place this tough, I need to feel the touch of a friend. In the country sun, I wonder far and wide, the isolation gets me again. I don't know where to go. Oh, man, it's time to open myself It must have ever since compassion's real. Thanks to strangers wherever I go. Thank you for waking me up until now. I'm needing.
Side effect, late night trash talking over games is the catalyst. We're nerdy. But that don't take away our black cards. We like playing spades and cosplaying. Like watching hood films and anime. We are the new generation of love. We're 90s babies, but 2000 raised. Our love don't mirror the sitcoms, it's eccentric. We do date nights at comic book stores and eat ramen at Dragon Ball Z themed restaurants. Sake over wine and arigato between kisses. We're slice of life with a dash of comedy.
Next I win, again, just try the shit I dare your eyes a minute, and then I won't play enough to tell shit I shoot to shut up, I'm a fool forever, yeah. I know I'm down to win because I hate defeat. Beat the beat up like I hate the beat. Squirrel got on line, said I hate the beat. Now any hating assholes better take a seat, you better take the seat or take it up on me. You know I spit that shit that burn your third degree. I know you heard of me, I see you scared of me. You can murder me, looking absurdity. I pull a swerve to beam a certain hoes like FEMA. And you niggas hoes too, I don't just mean the females. I'ma eat that peanut, I don't need no weed. I'm just teeny can defeat the fever. You can unfollow me, but you still need to see it. No, I keep a single like Alicia need the OEB. Cause see you tryna fight, I'm tryna keep the pieces. Here's just something like see when I'm sitting down. You can't measure my height, never question my work, only question your sight. And if you think I'm tripping, you know what you're right, but that's not what you're. Usagi, I'm super kawaii, hot wasabi, last name Uzumake, I'm that top bitch Hokage. I say hello, my kitty, my girl is sitting pretty. I'm the little bitch of your city, and hell yeah, I'm acting so ditty. I'm doing my dance like dance. Stop playing, hold you a fan, only been kissing my plan.
Hey. Y'all pay attention to the bars, you hear me? Backwood in my motherfucking back pocket, all the shit that hit leaf, nigga. I'ma be using my key, cause I let out this beats on the beat, nigga. Oh shit, look in the mirror, I'm cold, haiku, sis. Wait, that's a nigga. This shit is crazy, bro. I know my heart about to blow like I'm data rub. My bitch 10-10 cause the two stay with her. Where I go, you see my dogs, Kakashi. If she bad, she get the wood like Hashi. Drama, I'm not for the drama. I watch my bitch blossom, she a doctor, nigga. I feel like she Sakura, whoa. I know her spots and she ready, rotated like Deji. I feel like I'm Kabuto. You get dissected, I'm ready. No cosplay, but I feel like I'm Sasuke. When they come to rapping, cause I love my brothers, I gotta kill them, Itachi. Think they can stop me, she wanna kiss them, like I'm not Italian. Kick it with heavily, bitches tsunami. They cannot stop me, leave hurricane. Bitch, I can't stop till I beat the whole Kage. A lot of these bitches believe it. These niggas finna shower cut, I can see it. It's to get juicy, they think that they doing something. R.I.P. Kurama. Yeah.
You know what we tell his face?
Let's talk. Where we at?
Ooh, look, I'm outside.
What?
Yeah, look, I'm outside. I turn it up and then I slide. Hey. I make a movie, then I slide. Hey. Don't step like I'm who you mess with. I came in no room the freshest. Solo filled with block movers and talking in game of Tetris. Melanated with excellence, elevated in essence. Loyalty be my preference. Royalty when I'm dressed with. You can't juice the drip when it's source where I manifest and make it happen. Get a source guy, of course I'm fly. Shorty, I don't walk, I glide. You caught, I hide. As if I had towards the sky. I'm ayahuasca in the flesh with fly posture and fresh. I admire none except mamas who been the best.
Then don't ask me. I need money with a big face. Niggas moving at a snail's pace. Ain't no catching up the first place. Couple bands is the worst case. I need more dough than a lot of these niggas. I need them just want a lot of the figures. I need that up front with all of the interest. I need that money that doesn't diminish. Hustling like I work 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. I do it again. Trying to get cake, I might play with some friends. But they ain't tripping, bro, they understand. That living cheap, gotta feel about the man. Remembering days when I ate out of can. I go to Soho and it's like a Cali to taking the break from my feet in the sand. If I don't do it, then nobody will. These niggas flexing with counterfeit bills. I can be breaking down, I'm trying to build. Got a few racks in my feet in the bills. THC in my fat way. Big blunts in my ashtray. I ain't seen since last May. Where you been, don't ask me. I need money with the big face. Niggas moving at a snail's pace. Ain't no catching up the first place. Couple bands is the worst case. When they see me, I'm a little loud. They don't want me in the workplace. Yeah, I'm trying to make mama proud, but I get it for my own sake. Never give what you won't take, never spend what you don't make. I put it all on my own plate, so I'm stirred if it don't shake. Money ain't everything, but it's everything to a nigga who never had anything. Cause it's Gucci tees and his diamond rings and his gold, but it's hella strange. Murder niggas over fucking change. Sometimes I wish we would fucking change, but the only thing that we know is pain. Use dollar bills and our band-aids. Penny earned is a penny saved. Pretty penny put you in the grave. I know niggas who been eating ramen for like 20 days. A couple bands turn them into slaves. Get the coins like it's all a game. On a couple things and they hear my name. How many niggas can say the same? I got THC in my frat bay. Big blunts in my ashtray. I ain't seen you since last May. Where you been? Don't ask me. I need money with the big face. Niggas moving at a snail's pace. Ain't no catching up the first place. Couple bands is the worst case. Yeah, I did it for my own sake.
Yeah, and so that's how I ended my Saturday. I lied to my friends. I said, Saturday, I'm gonna be caught up on work. I'm in there. I'm out to party. As soon as open mic night was done, it was like 9 o'clock. The party started at 9. I said, I am not leaving my bed. Because, okay, so open mic night had ended. By the time I got to my room, it was already like 9 something. And the party starts at 9. And I was like, you know what? It ain't gonna happen. This, I was like, oh, am I getting old? Because I was like, I just made it back to my room. I've literally been here all throughout Saturday. This party's not gonna see me. And so I gave my ticket to someone who didn't have one because the party was sold out. So the ticket still got used, right? But that didn't happen. So maybe next time you may see me at a party, depending on my energy levels. And so then we move into Sunday. Sunday, I went to a mental health panel first. That's kind of like, Sunday's kind of like a wind down day for me, right? Because I'm getting on a plane on Monday. So I don't want to do too much, knowing I got to be early. I got to check out, do all the things. So I went to the panel. It was called The Power of Friendship. So mental health protective factors in anime and manga. And you know, I'm a therapist, so I'm in there. And it was so good. It was so good. He did such a great job. And I'm going to plug some of his stuff. Up here so you can kind of check him out. But it was really, 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 really good. It's the type of things that I want to do. This is why I have this channel, so that we can learn about mental health. We can have play. We can connect on a nerdy level while still being able to take care of ourselves. Because again, the power of friendship is instrumental in our mental health. I can't stress that enough. And that's why I love Power of Friendship shows. No matter how much hate they get, a support system will skyrocket your mental health. I cannot stress this enough. Your support system is a need. We know that we can survive without it. We know we can survive without these things. But that's surviving and that's not living, and it's two totally different things. So again, it's something that he does. He's a licensed clinical social worker. From what I remember, he's a licensed clinical social worker, and it was a great time. It was nice hearing everyone's stories and what brought them in there and things like that. And so, yeah, so I had to do that. So that was a great time. Got to talk to him and everything afterwards. So yeah, I got to meet one of my mutuals, and she calls herself the Therapy. So she has her own podcast and things of that nature, and she's here to show up. And I believe her dissertation was about play and the importance of play, especially in adulthood. And just the things I'm trying to stress of, like, it's okay that millennials and everything, their thing is getting back to their inner child, because we miss out on a lot of things as children, because that's just generationally what we go through, because it takes a while generationally to show up, for our parents to show up in the way that we need, right? So they can only do so much with what they learn from their parents. And so being able to, as an adult, heal your inner child is so important. And one of those ways you can heal your inner child is through play. So when you're coming to my channel and we're talking about grace and we're talking about play, that's what's happening here. When we're playing games, when we're watching anime, when we're doing all those things, it's about having a good time, healing that inner child, finding that support system, and having grace, and just showing up for your mental health. So after the mental health panel, then I went to go check out the vendors, right? I went to go check out the vendors to buy some things to show support in that way, and just spend a little because I love to spend, and I like to show up and show support. And so I went to the first place I stopped at because I kind of just walked all the way around, and tried to support in that way. And so first it was extra earrings. And when we're talking about prices, you go look this up and you're like, that's too expensive. That's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay if it's too expensive or you spend your coin. But like I said, when I go on vacation, it ain't about that. It ain't about that for me. So I first bought some earrings because I love me a good dangle. And so, of course, I got these Demon Slayer earrings for Tengen. These are the ones I like the most. And I got some Atkaski cloud earrings. And I know this is kind of hypocritical of me because I haven't watched Naruto Shippuden. But I like the earrings. And at some point, maybe I'll watch Naruto Shippuden for the channel just to actually have watched the show. And then I got some earrings for free because it's Sunday and it's a sale going on. And it's I got some Mortal Kombat studs. I got this because I love to have little decorations in my room. Look at this. And because it was Sunday, I missed out on some animals because they had them in the Pokeballs, and I wanted one in the Pokeball, but none of the Pokemon that was in the Pokeballs is what I wanted to display. So I got Eevee in a little display. Look at Eevee. So yeah, this is on my desk now. Also, there's one place they were selling a whole bunch of jewelry. I got this bracelet. So I got this bracelet. So the first comment I got was Kani. And this was from Rising Eagle Comics. And so, yeah, look at that. Then we have Tuskegee Heirs. This one has 1 through 3. And he was nice enough to tell me that because I really love the art from the 4th volume. But I was like, I'm the type of person that I want things in order. So he was like, hey, we have this book right here, and this is 1 through 3. And so we'll have that. And then I was going to get one comic. He was like, this comic is not going to make sense to you unless you had the first one. So I'm just trying to be honest with you with that. And I was like, well, thank you for being honest because I'm not going to get it now. But thank you for being honest. And so, yeah, I really love the cover art for this. And he also signed it for me. National Press Comics. And so this one is SKRAP. And then we have Black Fist. And Black Fist, I am missing a volume, but I went ahead and got the beginnings volume, but I'm missing volume 1 because they were sold out. But I was like, I kind of want to see where this goes. So Black Fist, he also signed this for me. Here we go. Okay, so I went kind of crazy on the comics, but I really want to start building up that collection. And so I went kind of crazy there. And then I also got this drink container, but I'm probably not going to put nothing in it. This is going to be just me displaying it. And so, of course, of Gara, you know, the baddest before they... Now I haven't watched it up to that point, but I see what they did to Gara. He's a little sweetheart now in adulthood, but I really wanted one of these, so I did get one. And then I got a poster for SKRAP. I was like, this is banging. The banging poster. And then I got this art of the One Piece at sea. I'm gonna frame it, but I was like, yes, because even though the first time I tried to watch One Piece, I turned off the first episode. I said, this is too cartoony. It's not giving anime. and I turned off One Piece the first time. But then I went back, so I was like, go back, watch it. I went back and watched One Piece and fell absolutely in love with One Piece, and I'm caught up on One Piece. And yes, I am one of those people who's absolutely obsessed with One Piece. So that was surprisingly all I bought from the vendors. I'm super proud of myself, and you should be too. Yeah. Clap for me, I know. And so here goes some clips from the rest of the vendors. All right, and so after the vendors, I went back to my room. I chilled out, got something to eat, and I just rested until the next day where I had to get back on the plane. And I did get an Uber back, and I thought the Uber was trying to kidnap me because he accidentally, I don't know if he really accidentally canceled the Uber and then wanted me to pay him in cash. And I was like, okay, sure, but I'm not gonna pay you until I make it to my destination. So I Ubered back, I got back on the plane, and I came back to Arkansas and made it home. And my time was wonderful, and my group is already planning for Dreamcon 2026. My goal is to go to BlerdCon and go to Dreamcon next year. So those are my goals. is to run it back. So I am going to go back to Dreamcon. And so we could talk about what needs to be worked on. Paid security. It needs to be paid security because the volunteers are too scared to tell people to stop acting out. There was only like, from my experience, there was only one lady that was like, I'm not playing these games. There was one lady at badge pickup line was like, I'm not playing these games. But I actively watched volunteers be too scared to say something, just allowed them to do what they do. Also, volunteers sometimes were not knowledgeable on what was going on at the spots that they were assigned to. So I don't know what the training is like before you come in and be a volunteer. So I don't know if that's more on the volunteer or if that's on training. But I relied mostly on the app and the map to kind of figure out where I need to be. But a lot of times volunteers are not knowing what's going on. So that's the thing. So we got that going on. So they need paid security to kind of keep people in line. That's also keep people protected, because some people have some experiences with people being weirdos, men being weirdos and stuff like that. And I know there's a whole discourse on sexualization when it comes to coming to cons and stuff like that, but there also has to be an understanding that there's a good amount of anime with women dressing like this, and that doesn't give anybody the right to be weirdos towards women because they're dressing like that in real life. That doesn't correlate. So being able to have people there who's going to enforce that. People had issues with the in real life streamers. Like the streamers were showing up in droves. The streamers were showing up in droves and streaming the whole experiences. And I know how that can be kind of jarring for people because it's a lot of people don't want to consent to or not consenting to being on live on people's lives and stuff like that. And some people are just out and about streaming. So I do kind of understand that. I do think there needs to be just with the space having a section just for like content creators. So they had a YouTube creator lounge and you had to sign up for it to be in the YouTube creator lounge. And so that's kind of what the access was. But I think there needs to be a general content creator section so content creators can see each other, get to know each other, network, where they have like this little space was kind of just for them. I think, that's a whole niche aspect right now when it comes to content, when it comes to the nerd space. And so I think that will help a little bit because again, only certain few select people were allowed to YouTube Creator Lounge, and then like streaming everywhere. So I get that. I get the issue with that. So paid security, a section for the content creation, and the paid security I think will help with lines and stuff. I personally didn't have too many issues with the lines outside of people skipping for no reason. But other than that, lines was pretty good to me. I didn't wait a lot of times, and so that's because of the events that I chose, but it wasn't too big of an issue for me. But I do think paid security can help a lot with that stuff because everything else was kind of like organized. It's just we need someone there just really going to enforce it. So we have that. Oh, there were so many good panels that was at the same time. And I dislike that. I dislike that so much. I don't know how you could work on that. But there was a lot of panels going on at the same time and that I wanted to join in, and I just had to choose. So that's just kind of a personal thing because I don't think you can really change that because there's so many people coming that really need that many panels. So what to do with that. And then I also talked about better food at the food court and variety in the vendors. I do think, because one of the things that Mark said was in his speaking on the Meg Thee Stallion situation was that the people who have been over Dreamcon and doing a lot of the work with Dreamcon has been the same people for years. And as it's getting bigger and bigger, there needs to be more people added to your roster. There needs to be more people added to your roster, especially when people are talking about some of the same issues reoccurring. This is my first time, so I'm just going off of what I've seen today. But over the years, there's certain things that have been issues. But what I have been hearing a lot is what people say is that it's getting better and better. Like the issues are getting better and better, but I do think the team needs some more people to help them out. They're strained. So I think that would help out a lot, because he said that the girl was panicking when she was trying to delete comments, and that goes to how big this convention is getting and how much more support people need. So as it's getting big, it's getting large, so you need that help. So that's kind of just like my different things that I noticed that needs a little bit to work on, but my experience was overall good. And I will talk about the fact that my experience was overall good is because I, for the most part, have control and can curate that for myself. I curated the people I wanted to hang out with. I curated what experiences I want to do. And I always tell myself all the time, and you should always tell yourself, it's not feeling right for you, you can leave. And I think that's very important. And that's not in a rude aspect or anything like that. That's about autonomy and having that feeling and that empowerment that you can leave will give you that power to tell people, you got me messed up and it's time for me to go. Right? You got me messed up, it's time for me to go, and stand in that. So I just want you to have can't control everything, right? We know that different aspects and scenarios can't control everything, and that's important. But I also think it's important to tell yourself, you got me messed up, and this is where I head to the door. So, and that's just kind of a way to love on yourself, right? And so that's just something to think about. And so at the end of the day, my experience was good. I'm going back. I had a good time. And one of the biggest things I want to highlight is the way the Black community was coming in droves. And I felt so much Black love in the building. And I love that. And in that capacity, Black nerdiness showing up in droves. And a lot of people were friendly and a lot of people were helpful. I couldn't turn a corner and be stressed without somebody being like, hey, you may not know about this, but I can help you, right? So there was a guy and he was doing like podcast stuff, and I was hoping to find him when I got into the convention, but I couldn't find him because he was saying he was doing interviews and stuff. But when I first got there was a guy who helped me find the shuttle, helped me do the app stuff to be able to get on the shuttle. So he helped me with that, just right off the bat. And I think I have his information somewhere. And if I have his information, oh, here we go. I believe this is right here. Trapped in Anime. It's a podcast. And I'm gonna put it up there. But he helped me with all that. And again, when I was going to panels alone, the people next to me, we were talking, we were laughing, we were having a good time while we was in there. I didn't have no unfriendly experiences with individuals. That's probably the best part of my experience, is that it was very welcome, it was very friendly. And I see people talk about that a lot, of like, this is the type of con that you can show to alone and you can make friends going out of it. So that's really nice. So I've been talking a lot, but that was my Dreamcon experience, and I wish I got more videos and stuff for you, but I can yap all day about my experiences, but the clips are going to be small because I'm enjoying my time. But yeah, hope this information was helpful for you, or you just had a good time listening to me yap. Yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're in the know the next time I post another video. And I will see you next time.